Shabbat Shalom, Bamidbar. Wow, this is my last Shabbat message. It's crazy. 2 years have flown by. You all have taught me a lot, and I've grown a lot from my time with you. And I'm so appreciative of the opportunities that I had to learn from and with you all. I'm really excited to see everybody at the going away party on Sunday at 2. Check your emails for information on how to download Zoom and use it. You know, my family is going to be flying in from Cincinnati, and I'm really excited for the opportunity for you all to meet them. It's going to be nice. I'm really grateful for Sunday, actually, because this past week has been full of some anticlimactic things. For example, I finished my 3rd year of rabbinical school on Wednesday, and I got my master's degree. Woohoo! You know, while I still have 2 more years to go, this is momentous for me, but at the same time, it's kind of deflating because I can't celebrate the way I'm used to celebrating. In thinking about how I could put a positive spin on that, I realized sometimes you can't always put a positive spin on everything. And sitting with that feeling is almost harder than trying to find the silver lining. I know a lot of us are feeling restless, like I was this past week. We want to open our doors again. We want to work out in the gyms that we used to work out in. Things are really difficult right now. It's hard. And I'm reminded of a verse from this week's parsha, Bahar. In Leviticus 25:53, we're instructed to not rule ruthlessly. Listen, I know the strict measures in place right now can feel like we have a government that is ruling ruthlessly. But I also think that we need to remain patient, as we all, government and citizens, figure out the best way to tackle this pandemic and ensure everyone remains safe. Another thing I read about in this week's parsha was the concept of a jubilee, a time when the land is allowed to rest, a time when we're commanded to return to our holdings and return to our families. I wonder, how do you all understand jubilee in the context of all that we are dealing with right now? It might be an interesting thing to meditate on this Shabbat. Listen, it's frustrating to turn on the news and hear about all the doomsday stuff. I hear it every night when I watch the news. I get it. It brings me down. But again, I think about how we must remain patient, because there will come a time for us to experience real jubilee together in our community when we celebrate Shabbat as one. Last week, I explained why I have trouble hearing and why I wear a hearing aid. And this week, I also want to share with you that I'm one of those immunocompromised people. I have an autoimmune disorder called pemphigus, and it's a really ugly disease. But thankfully, I take medicine that suppresses my immune system so it doesn't fight itself. I'm thinking about the idea of remaining patient through all of this, because that's how we're going to slow the spread of this disease, so that people like me or people with underlying health issues or in vulnerable age groups can enjoy their liberties just as much as everyone else, so that soon, one day, we can celebrate this idea of Jubilee together. So much about our tradition and being Reformed Jews is about finding a balance. We're Jewish and we're American, and many of us don't have the luxury of being able to take off work on Shabbat. So we find a way to create Shabbat for ourselves and rest, where and when and however we can. There's a balance to strike here too. As our governments respond to a pandemic that has killed over 85,000 people, they're working out the kinks of how to ensure the safety of both you all and me. My blessing to you all this Shabbat is that we work together to find that balance so that we can remain healthy and celebrate Jubilee together. Join me as I count the la-omer, reminding ourselves of how close we are to the sacred moment of revelation that we commemorate on Shavuot, when we entered into a covenant with the oneness that sustains the world, reminding us of our obligation to God and to one another, maintaining the perspective to keep vulnerable populations in the same frame of mind as the freedoms we miss so dearly right now. That blessing goes like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav vitzivanu al sefirat la-omer. And because tonight marks the beginning of the 37th day of the la-omer, we add Hayom shivah ushloshim, yom shehem chamishah shavuot, ushnei yamim la-omer. Shabbat Shalom. May you all find rest, balance, and a little bit of Jubilee in your hearts this Shabbat. I'll see you all on Sunday at 2. Until then, bye.